Hi, everybody. Welcome to yet another Toonkind at 12 frames per second. My name is Noah, and I am joined by the ever lovely.
Hi, my name is Whirl. I am not your DM for the day for once.
I mean, with this, we're kind of like both, but also we're both not.
Yeah, it's weird. I
It's,
don't know how the terminology works for 12 FPSs.
but
This is
honestly,
only my second time doing this.
it's like my not second time, a lot more than that. Uh, uh, so anyway, I guess we should probably start by. Should we introduce our characters or introduce the setting first?
I think just to keep up the sort of mysterious vibe we've got going on, we should start with an establishing shot with the setting.
All right. So, let's start with the storefront.
Well, it's not much of a storefront, is it? It's really more of a back alley wall at the moment, but our lovely character who, Noah, you are playing, has something that supposedly will make it something a little more.
Mm-hmm. Of
You do still have the business card, right?
course I do. I wouldn't lose something like that so easily.
Of course not.
And it's more of he heard about this whole business from someone else who knows someone else. Their circles don't exactly mingle all the time, but word gets around, and the person he's visiting is relatively well known for what he does.
That he is. And, well, you're in the market for a certain kind of service. And, well, you've heard this guy can provide it. So I'm assuming you use the business card?
I sure do. I myself personally don't know how it works, so you know what? If you could explain that'd be really cool. Cause you tend to like,
Gladly.
yeah.
So how the business card works is you place it sigil side down against a wall, and then you step back. It sticks in place, and a glowing purple outline spreads out from where it was placed and takes the form of an old looking wooden door with the same sigil that was on the business card carved into the top panel.
Very similar to the one that is in the title card.
Exactly like the one that's in the title card,
Because
except
it,
not set into nice wallpaper.
yep. Because haha, it is the one in the title card. Um,
Yes.
I assume once the door has made its full appearance, my character would smile, nod, and knock once, twice, three times on the door.
And it swings open and leads you into what looks like you're not quite sure whether it's a store or a workshop. There's assorted bottles lining the shelves, some of which are marked with price tags, others are kept in glass cases, clearly to keep them away from customers. There are baskets of things of varying levels of, shall we say, moral integrity. And there's a counter in the back.
Is there anyone at this counter, I wonder?
There is indeed. There is a tall, real kind man with curly blonde hair that gives way to dark purple black clouds at the bottom. Standing there and leaning on the counter, reading some kind of book and fiddling with a set of puppet strings. He looks up as you enter, and He gives a sort of smile and says, "Welcome, what can I help you with?"
I guess this is a good time to introduce my character, huh?
It would be, it really would be.
Alright, so, in as little physical description as possible, because it is still semi secret, stands a relatively short Frankenelli tune named Eddie Rowan. Um,
Hmm.
Eddie has on his usual coat with the fluffy interior, and he is, for the most part, partially ignoring the man behind the counter. He is looking around at all the different things, all the different potions and stuff. He is studying a few that catch his eye, scoffing at a few others. And then he finally turns to the man behind the counter and he says, "So, I have been having an issue recently, mostly having to deal with the overwhelming smell of lavender and cigarette smoke. Do you know a way I could perhaps deal with that?"
And the man's demeanor changes a little bit. He sort of tilts his head, the smile's still in place, of course, and says, "I might have something to help in the back if you'd follow me."
Um, can Eddie roll insight real quick?
Go ahead. Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong zone. Okay. 21. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Um, well, what is Eddie trying to incite for exactly?
Trying to get, trying to vibe check him basically, trying to get a good read. Because he's heard rumors, of course. But
Well, how to explain this guy's vibes? He doesn't feel natural at all. He doesn't feel like something of this world. And yet he feels very much human. And the way his demeanor shifts kind of tells Eddie that this guy was sizing him up as much as he was sizing them up.
mm-hmm.
And apparently, um, this guy behind the counter has judged Eddie to be on a somewhat equal playing field.
Wonderful. All right, then Eddie will smile ever so slightly later because he's the kind of person who always has like the slightest amount of a smirk on his face, but it genuinely widens here. And he follows this individual to the back.
The back does not, in fact, turn out to be a back room of the building. In fact, you're not even sure this is a building. It doesn't feel like a building. It feels like just a room. And this door that he leads you through, when he opens it, you can't see the other side, but when you step through, it's into a sort of living room with big plush couches and a coffee table and an armchair by the fireplace, which isn't lit. Um, a heavy layer of smoke lies over the floor and sort of swirls around your ankles as you walk through. And um, this man who you have come to see gestures to the couches and says, "Take a seat. Let's discuss your client."
I guess Eddie will do so. He'll kind of sit. He I assume that the chair's more meant for people of larger stature than him, so he has to kind of sit cross-legged in the chair itself to like actually make himself look slightly taller because fucking manlet here. I know this isn't necessarily the scene for humor, but also this guy's a manlet.
Oh, come on. This is Shinkai D&D. Every scene's a scene for a little humor.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. All right. Um, and Eddie leans forward, um, places his hands on the table, crosses his fingers, like knits his fingers together, and says, right off the bat, he says, now, here's the thing. I can do this kind of job on my own. Quite well, actually. Normally, I wouldn't bother trying to get someone else. But the problem I've been having requires a bit more of a delicate touch. It needs the hand of someone who's, shall I say, good at good at messing with the mind. And normally, I would stick to my fists, but this kind of situation is more of a scalpel than a hammer kind of deal.
And this guy, who, if you haven't listened to Color Studies enough to recognize him by his description, is named Kyle Bedlam. I'm revealing his because I do not want to keep calling him this guy. Um,
Yep.
but Kyle takes his own seat on the couch, pulls out the puppet strings, tugs on one of them, and while he's waiting for something to happen, uh, listens to Eddie's description of the situation and nods, thinking, and says, so you need a mind magician. What
Yes.
exactly is the end goal?
Well, I have heard some stories regarding what you do with some of your projects, and while I myself don't particularly care what happens in the cleanup, I want them to rethink some decisions they've made. And honestly, they've got a pretty enough face as it is. I'm sure you can find some other use for them afterwards.
Oh, I can find a use for pretty much anyone. That's not the problem. The problem is I've yet to quite understand what you want me to do. Do you want me to scare them, or do you want me to make them obedient? It is a very difficult process to do either.
I want
Fuck, I fucked up. He wouldn't have said difficult, he would have said different. I am so sorry.
I want them
Eh,
broken. However you choose to put the pieces back is up to you, if you choose to do so. But I want them to suffer.
well, we can certainly arrange that. And it is at this point, another figure enters the room. Um, they are tall, dressed in silk and lace, wearing a blindfold, um, and carrying a tray with tea and snacks and assorted drinks on it. And he smiles and says, oh, thank you, Dolly. Just set it here. And the person who, by reputation, you can assume is one of Kyle's puppets, sets the tray on the table and stands as though waiting to be given another order. And Kyle just ignores him for the moment and says, "Oh, broken is a fun term to work with. What time frame are you looking at?"
Oh, I'm not particularly one for impatience. I have all the time in the world, really. Except this isn't a matter of my own personal pride. It's avenging someone else who was hurt close to me. So, I'd prefer to get it done relatively soon, but everything's, I suppose, whenever your schedule's available.
Oh no, you misunderstand. I don't mean how long do you want to wait for me to get to it. I can get to it right away. As you can see, my current projects, the waves at Dolly, are all but complete at the moment. And it'll be a while before I put any work into the next step of the bigger one. And he glances at a cabinet. Make me a perception check.
All right. Cool and good. What does an 18 get me?
An 18 an 18 gets you the fact that you look over and there's this glass fronted cabinet, almost like what people tend to, you know, their fancy plates and china in,
Okay.
that is full of glass jars filled with tune-kind color samples.
Hmm.
And he sighs and says, "Well, I ran into a bit of confrontation getting the last piece of my puzzle. So it'll be a while before I can work on that again. So really, I'm free whenever. No, I was more asking, how much time do you want me to put into your client?"
And Eddie sits back, thinks for a moment, and he seems genuinely deep in thought at this because essentially he's trying to figure out what punishment is fitting enough for the crime in this particular
Mm-hmm.
situation. And finally he says, "Well, we'd be working together on this, so I'd assume it would be able to be done on the quicker side."
Would be.
Say,
I suppose it's a matter of, do you want it to?
mm,
After all, it's more fun when it takes longer, don't you agree?
oh, absolutely. It's especially more fun when you draw it out. I gotta say, one of my favorite parts of it is waiting for them to almost fully recover. Almost. But that's neither here nor there. Um, I don't know. I myself don't particularly work in the magic side of things. What do you think is the best?
I have my assorted methods. Personally, I've always enjoyed. Um, sorry, me, not Kyle. My brain just crashed for a second.
God, mood.
My brain just crashed. Sorry for the break in the bastardry. Um,
You're so freaking valid. You're so freaking valid.
I've always had my preferences when it comes to my methods. Personally, I've been meaning to experiment more lately with extended isolation as a. But, of course, if you prefer to remain to the traditional tracks and keep the experimental for later projects, if you decide to work with me again, I am all too open. Usually it takes me about 3 to 4 months to get the first crack, and then after that it's just, well, you know how quickly it goes down from there.
Well, looking at my own schedule, and all right, so everything turns out all right for him. He reaches into his hammer space and pulls out a little mini planner. It's bedazzled, it's bright pink, it's flashy, very much opposite his aesthetic. But he kind of flips through it, um, and
Love
stops.
that.
Goes over some pages. He goes, "Well, considering my own personal work schedule, I should be able to fit in about this much time, and then with this over here, and I do have to help him. I do have to help my precious Sylvie Poo with getting some other stuff out of the way, but really that shouldn't take too long at all. Oh, 3 to 4 months to start off with should be plenty."
Oh, that's definitely a work time period. You can definitely do some damage in that. Um, Roll me insight.
Oh, fuck.
That's a nat 20.
That is a nat fucking 20.
Okay, then I'm going to actually rewind a bit to give you a bit more insight about how this guy's been feeling throughout this entire conversation. The more you two talk, the more he seems interested, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you came in, he was already when he came in, he was already, on the respectful side, on the, okay, this is a tune, but it isn't somebody who I should mess with, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But now he's kind of getting the vibe looking at you that, oh, 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 this is somebody who gets it. This is somebody who does the same work I do, likely for much of the same reason. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to roll insight as well?
Absolutely. Wait, what did I put? It was a 5, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yep, +5. 22.
All right. Eddie, while at the same time he does seem to be treating Kyle with the same level of respect that Kyle's been giving him, it also feels like he's prodding slightly, trying to see if there are any chinks in his armor, so to speak. Um, he is. His general manner of speech is very wishy washy, sweet, uh, um, and while he's direct in some ways, he's also very much beating around the bush with others.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what you got.
Okay. So, I think from there, um, well, what Kyle would do first is pour himself a cup of tea and offer Eddie one.
I feel like Eddie's gonna roll Arcana.
Go ahead.
14. He's not very good at that.
Yeah, it's a low check anyway. There's no magic in this.
Okay, cool.
It's just tea.
Just tea. Okay.
There, there are other things that Eddie saw in the shop in the front, question mark, that were marketed as teas. Specifically, there was a love potion one, which, if I remember right, is one of the ones that he scoffed at.
That is correct.
But um, this is just straight up plain tea.
All right. And he doesn't like try to hide the fact that he's checking as well. Like he makes it clear to Kyle that yeah, I don't really trust you fully yet. And he accepts the
That's
tea,
fair.
um, takes a sip, and it kind of fogs up his glasses. And he just sits and watches Kyle because Eddie is the odd one out in this situation. He is the stranger, he is the intruder.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing as much as he can to, well, not necessarily blend in, definitely to basically I'm rolling off of as much of the not fucking 20 insight as I can because like he is this is new for Eddie. He doesn't normally work with too many others.
Mm-hmm.
And also Kyle's sort of like vague way of speaking is different.
I, as the player, am curious to know different how, but I don't know if that's a question I can ask without rolling something. But
Um I mean, as the player, I can absolutely tell you because like this isn't necessarily a thing. Um, Eddie, while he does have his moments of being like kind of beating around the bush, vague as I mentioned earlier, he prefers to be direct. He prefers to say outright what is going on. He just does so in a very casual way, whereas Kyle is, for pun intended, almost entirely smoke and mirrors.
oh, in more ways than you know. Um,
So
okay.
yeah.
With that little bit of insight gleaned, thank you for that. That's very fun to know. I think he sits back, he finishes his cup of tea, holds it in his lap. Um, he dismisses Dolly, blows a curl of smoke from his lips that's dark purple and black and a little bit blue, but not like, classic tune cigarette smoke blue. It's just weird colors.
Mm-hmm.
And thinks for a minute and says, well, my last collaborative project went up in a blaze. I'm sure I can give it another shot. Where would you like me to meet you?
Eddie smiles and he goes, "Well, since you were ever so kind in allowing me into your into your private space, I think it would be kind of me to return the favor, don't you think?"
If you so wish.
Huh?
If you so wish.
And I mean, with the hubby away doing whatever it is he does during the day, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Um, I live in Toontown, as most individuals do here in Einquell. And I gotta ask, with the way that the business card worked, did, would you say that besides obviously the difference in the actual like transportation based things, um, would the business card work like anywhere? Like, could he just open a door anywhere?
Yeah, basically, as long as there's a flat wall and you have the business card, it works.
Cool. That's actually really cool. Okay, that's good to know.
You can
Um,
also open it in a floor, but that's inadvisable because it will have you stepping through a floor to walk through a wall, and it's just why?
I mean, mm,
It fucks with your sense of gravity.
as yeah. Um, I think in this situation, Eddie kind of shrugs. He says, "Well, the rest of my afternoon is clear. If you'd like to step somewhere else." I'd hate to pull you away from any important business, but as you mentioned before, it doesn't seem like you're very much into any of it. I live.
Died for like a hot minute there.
I noticed my fucking internet. Like I was like, wait a second, wait a second. It took you it's taking you a very long time to respond to my question, and then I realized, wait a second, no, it's my connection that's the issue.
Oh God, that's valid.
So I had to like genuinely like wait for the fucking thing to restart, and I'm like, god damn, oh my god. What did you last hear before I died?
Um, well, fuck. Now I don't remember. Does anyone at the peanut gallery remember what Noah said before he died? What were his last words? So, whatever so was going to start.
I don't fucking remember. Oh, that's right. Um, Eddie asked Kyle if he'd be able to step away from whatever important business I'm sure he had to attend to for the afternoon.
Hmm. Roll me either insight or history.
I'll go with history. Wait, no, let me double check to make sure one is any. No, I'm gonna go with insight because history is a
All
plus
right.
one. I'm like, wait a second. No, I wanted to know actually have a fair chance, except not really because this boy does not play fair. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's insight.
Yep.
Okay, so you kind of see the slight hmm look on his face as he thinks about it, and he says, "Well, my last time in Toontown, I ran into three particular nuisances, but I'm sure if I stay out of sight, they won't be able to cause any more trouble. I'm sure I could step away for the afternoon."
That's wonderful. Oh, that's fantastic. I have so many different things I'd love to show you. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's. And he has to breathe. He has to like breathe in and out. He has to like remind himself this is a business meeting. And while he's normally good at staying in the business frame of mind, this is a kindred spirit here. He hasn't felt this like connected to a person since he met his dearest preciousest husband. So there may or may not be like stars in his eyes because oh my god, you're like me.
Ah, yes, we vibe on the same bastardess wavelength.
Oh hell yeah. um
I'm looking at something in another server and I'm tempted to do something, but I'm also tempted not to do something.
let's do this something because we've still I mean
We've
otherwise
got time.
we've got plenty of time. Time is fake, but we got plenty of it.
Yeah, we've got plenty of that fake thing that people ascribe value to.
Mhm.
The one that doesn't let you buy things. Anyway, I do want you to actually roll me that history check.
Gosh darn it. Okay. Oh god. My message is not sending. Hold on. Hello? God? Jesus? I'm back.
You die. And I have to repeat that, don't I?
Yeah, so yeah, I rolled it and then my internet died and I'm like, oh fuck. Okay.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so basically, to sum up what I just said, with a five, you don't remember exact details, but like by putting together the fact that this guy mentioned, oh yeah, I ran into three people who don't like me much last time I was in Toontown / Einquell, and the fact that oh yeah, he has bottles of Toonkind's color samples on in a cabinet, you can put together that oh, this is that guy who broke into the ECCR a couple months ago and did something that the police are not allowed to disclose.
Who fucking cares about the police, bro? Can't trust them anyway. They're even bigger bastards than the two of us.
Yeah, fuck the police.
Okay. Well, even with the fucking five, okay, so he knows that much. Okay. Yeah, Eddie hasn't really done
Mm-hmm.
anything to put himself on the map, so to speak, so.
That's valid. Sometimes it's better to not get recognized. Kyle had fully intended to go into that without getting caught, but
Mm.
players at the Star Trio.
Um. Eddie's gonna do two things real quick.
Oh, woo.
Um, if I wanted to pull out his disguise kit and use it on Kyle, what do you think I would roll?
I have no idea. I've never used a disguise kit before. Um, Peanut Gallery, any ideas?
See, okay, I have good deception, so that's a good thing. Okay,
Okay, deception should work. Because this is
please.
like trying to disguise this guy.
Oh!
Damn. Okay. I mean, you literally can't roll lower than a 16, but that's valid. Okay. How do you want to do this?
Actually, I can't roll any lower than a 12. Because it's only a plus 11. But anyway. So what Eddie does is, first and foremost, he takes the opportunity to say, dress up montage! And he goes, well, first and foremost, I am very sorry, but we're gonna have to change you out of your trademark color. I'm sure we can fit hints of it here and there, but you can deal with that, right?
Kyle kind of laughs and puts on a mock offended expression, but makes a sort of exasperated, exaggerated, well, if I must, I must.
Great. Okay. Oh fuck! Now I actually do a dress up montage. This is gonna be fun. Um, First thing Eddie does is he takes off his own glasses, which are partially for decoration, partially so we can actually like see. And does like the whole, you know, when you breathe on your glasses and you clean them off sort of thing. Does that and then puts them on Kyle's face because he goes, glasses make a huge difference in people's appearances. You'd be surprised. Um, so now Kyle is wearing very thick, rounded glasses. Um, he
He blinks, suitably confused.
okay, cool. Eddie takes off Kyle's hat because freaking hats are for losers. Um,
Actually, he doesn't have his hat.
no, not today.
No, because his backup hat was in the clubhouse, which got stolen by the Star Trio, and his
Oh my
original hat had his goggles, which also got stolen by the Star Trio.
god! He doesn't have a hat. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's even
So
better.
right now, his defining feature is the fact, when it comes to headwear, is the fact that his hair is pulled back.
All right, cool. Eddie sits him down in a chair and does like the whole gossiping while braiding his hair sort of thing. Uh, um, Basically makes him look like a freaking librarian dork nerd.
I'm gonna need you to roll me sleight of hand for that, because this man's hair is like mostly cloud.
He's gonna do his gosh darn best. Fucking no, he doesn't.
That's a 4. Okay. Yeah, you try to braid this guy's hair, and it's just not working.
It's not. He goes, gosh darn it.
And Kyle kind of laughs and says, yes, the clouds are a bit of a nightmare to work around. Here, why don't I? And then, uh, looking slightly uncomfortable with doing so, he takes his hair out of its usual ponytail and floofs it out so it sort of falls around his shoulders and bangs fall over one eye and says, I haven't worn it like this in ages. I'm sure no one would recognize it.
Eddie goes, Lucy goes, you look wonderful. You look wonderful. Oh, and he does. Not Kyle does in fact look like one of those freaking librarian ass nerd dorks with the argyle sweater and everything.
Oh my god. And he kind of looks at it appraisingly and says, well, not my usual fare, but I suppose that's the intention, isn't it?
Eddie doesn't say anything. He just smiles. He goes, "Shall we be wenting?"
I suppose we shall. and Kyle walks to the door, knocks on it twice, um, names. Well, actually, no, he wouldn't. He would turn to Eddie and say, "Where's our destination?"
Mm, um, Eddie just says the name of his work location, which I cannot say out loud.
All right. And Kyle repeats that out loud, but not actually said by the player because I don't know that place. Um, and opens the door, and he has opened a door in that location.
Wonderful. The place is closed at the moment. It is everybody's vacation day, so there is no chance of anyone finding them there. And also, so that way I don't have to reveal any of his coworkers because that is also secret. Um,
So many secrets.
Sorry about that, but yeah, not sorry.
No, no, I love it. I love it. So many secrets.
Eddie kind of looks around and he goes, "Yeah, nobody should be around at this time of day anyway." Which is good. I honestly cannot put up with his infernal. He will not shut up. Anyway, and Eddie, as he is not wearing his glasses, his face is significantly like rounder looking.
Mm-hmm.
He himself. Well, I should probably actually roll to see how he does this because also I just love fucking flexing his deception modifier. You know what? Never mind. I probably shouldn't have rolled.
I mean, that's still a 13.
I mean, there's only so much he can do. So because he used most of his good disguise kit stuff on Kyle, basically it's just little things here and there. He brushes out his hair, changes his outfit, that sort of thing. So he looks different enough.
Mm-hmm.
Puts on
Different
some.
enough that no one's going to pass a second glance, but if they look too closely, they might figure it out.
Yes, exactly. Um, and he opens the door to the business and he goes, like outwards, to step out into the street and he goes, "Well, I suppose this would be as good a time as ever to help sort of show you who it is we're looking at. Show you who it is we're going to be targeting."
The way.
And Eddie does so. For those of you in the audience who are concerned, it is no one's character, no one's character here. It is random person, number 1, 2, 3. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Or random NPC number 546. We just couldn't decide.
Yeah, we just fucking couldn't decide. No, no, no. Like 100% seriously, it's nobody's character here. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Um, um, and I guess for the most part, they just kind of ghost the person to get a general idea of the person's habits, what they do, because while Eddie's normally the kind of person who would just step in and take care of the problem, he's also looking for as much of an opportunity to hang out with Kyle as he possibly can because this guy seems pretty chill.
Why, thank you. He is pretty chill, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, actually, literally. Roll me Constitution, actually, real fast.
Okay. Constitution, like just general check or.
Yeah, just a general Constitution check. I'm not saying it's a save. I'm just saying how well are you holding up with this. Okay, 16. You definitely have noticed it, but it's not like bothering you or anything. The air literally gets colder whenever this guy is around. Like, you guys can be standing in direct sunlight, and if you step maybe 2 feet away, it's warm. If you stand next to him, it's freezing.
Yeah, Eddie's got on a lot of layers. He should be fine.
E. Like I said, you've noticed it, but it's not bothering you.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And I mean, I guess that is more or less what we had planned, unless you wanted to fit anything else in.
Maybe just like a scene at the end where we, I guess, seal the deal. Um, let's say do you want to say that they, grab the target to work on them later?
Yeah.
Right. So Kyle cast a, specific sort of sleeping spell that he made himself because, he only ever uses the spells that he writes. And cast it on their target and has, well, I guess Eddie would probably be the one dragging this guy along,
Because,
seeing
yeah,
as he
he's
probably has a higher
strong.
strength modifier.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's a +3.
I don't remember what Kyle's is.
You don't even have his sheet pulled up?
Oh, I do. Uh, yeah, his is +2. So yeah, Eddie's the one dragging this poor, unfortunate soul.
Eddie just fucking tossed them over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. They're just chatting.
Yeah, they've just been kind of chatting, getting to know each other as they walk along. Might as well get to know your partner in crime before you start committing crimes against humanity.
Too late.
Um,
Too late before the whole committing crimes against humanity.
well, how about before committing crimes against humanity together?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. All right. Before committing sins against mankind. Sins against toonkind. Damn, that's metal as fuck.
Yeah, that sounds like a game title. Um,
Oh, whoa. I'm just fucking.
God, probably not for this server though.
No.
But Kyle looks at his pocket watch and says, "Hmm, I'm afraid I do have another appointment in a few minutes, but," and he scribbles down the location Eddie told him to target the door at and says, "What would be a good time for me to meet up with you tomorrow?"
Hmm. Let's say early afternoon.
It's a date. He writes it down on the card and then slips that into his pocket, holds a hand out, and says, "I look forward to working with you, partner."
Eddie holds out his pinky.
Um, Kyle sort of chuckles and links pinkies with Eddie.
The pact is sealed.
The pact is sealed. A pact of murder. Well, actually, no, not murder.
Yeah, they're not gonna
Torture.
murder. Yeah, they're not gonna murder him. Murder this guy. Murder this person. Um. Yeah, I think that just about does it. These two should never have been allowed to meet, but also,
I really shouldn't.
but also, they're gonna get along like a house on fire.
God help everyone who gets in the way. Oh, God. Oh, gosh.
I think,
Uh,
I think that should be everything then.
yeah, I think that's all we had in mind. That was a blast.
It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Sorry about the internet issues.
It's fine. It's fine. We can chop that out in post.
All right, cool and good. So, should I stop the recording now?
Yep. Everyone say goodbye, listeners. Goodbye, listeners.
Bye.